disappointment. This felt like a race that McLaren could have won. It felt like a race you could have won.
Yes, it does. I think we made a lot of good decisions in the race, I think, and just had good moments of the race. I think the pace from Lando and I when it started to rain was very strong. I think the call to go back onto slicks was the right one. I think on my side, going onto the medium was the correct call. Just unfortunately lost so much time staying out of that extra lap on slicks. So definitely some things to review.
This is it. So end of lap 26, Max and the Mercedes come in. It was end of lap 27 that Lando comes in. What's going through your head when you're told to stay out?
I mean, I was okay with the decision. I knew I was going to lose a lot of time if we double stacked, because given I was half a second behind Lando at that point. So it was kind of a joint decision. I guess we just need to review whether we had any more information we could have used to make a better call there. So I knew as soon as I went past pit entry that I was in a lot of trouble, but that's how it goes sometimes.
It was a close run thing between you two today. Carlos, how was the race from your perspective?
Honestly, not that close. No, I think McLaren today were quite a bit quicker. We did manage to get in the fight with them with the right calls and being in the right tire at the right time in every moment, which today, at least that side, we got it all right. But as soon as it was very wet or very dry, we had nowhere to go against them. But yeah, happy to at least manage to get ourselves in the fight with them.
For both you guys, when you're out on track and the team is feeding you back the information and asking you the question, do you want to stop? Is it wet enough? Is it dry enough? How much is it actually down to you, and how much is about them giving you the right information at the time as to where it's raining on track?
I mean, I think it's a bit of both. I mean, obviously it's up to us ultimately, because we're the ones that can tell if we can keep it on the track or not. I think in our case today, that was probably the hardest decision in F1 you could have. Your two cars, 1-2, separated by half a second. The rain's coming down, and you need to decide if you're going to double stack them or not. So I don't think it really gets any more high pressure than that. But unfortunately, I think we got it wrong today. I think it was a very difficult one to get right. We had that little shower earlier, and everyone stayed out and managed. So I think we sort of thought we could do a similar kind of thing, but yeah, just didn't quite pay off today.
And Carlos, fastest lap of the race. You're within 4 points of your teammate in the championship now. A reason to smile at the end of the Grand Prix?
Yeah, I mean, in the end, to come out of this weekend where we haven't been in the pace, and especially with such a complicated race with 11 points on the back, it's important for the team because these guys are coming super quick from behind. And also, you can see, Mercedes, if the two cars would have finished today, would have been a massive amount of points that they could have get. So yeah, as Oscar said, a really difficult race, very difficult to make all the right calls. Yeah, we studied really well the radar on Friday and Saturday to more or less try to understand if the intensities of the rain and in which tire you need to be at each time, and this time it paid off. Unfortunately, we got everything right the weekend that we were not quick enough, and we didn't manage to fight for something else, but I'm going to take the positives.
You guys pretty much had opposite races where operationally Ferrari were bang on, but you didn't quite at the pace. McLaren missed a beat, but you were super quick, Osberg. But tell me about the conditions, because from a driver's point of view, I know how hard it is when you're on slick tyres, the rain's coming down. I mean, we saw you flying off the road at Abbey with a few other drivers as well. How hard is that to keep the car on the track, on the slicks, and then think about whether you want inters? What's going through your mind?
Yeah, I mean, it's the toughest conditions you can have in a race car. And I think that's why we looked quicker than Mercedes at one point, because they were the first ones to go through it all, and we could judge from them what was going on. I think our car's always been very strong in those conditions, so that helps, but it doesn't really get any tougher than that. So, sometimes you feel like you don't even turn the wheel and the car nearly does a 360 on you. So it's very, very tough. And especially here, I don't know about you, but it was impossible to tell if the track was wet or dry.
Yeah.
The color of the track was not changing really. Even in the laps to the grid, it was inters clearly one lap and slicks clearly the next. So it dried up a lot. But yeah, just a very tricky one to get right.
Tricky triple header for you guys as well, Carlos. The upgrade package in Spain. I know you reverted back to the Imola package this weekend. Bit of head scratching for the team to do before the next double?
Yeah, definitely. I would be lying if I said we're going through a good moment now. I think it's a bit of a rough patch. The fact that we are still in Imola spec of the car shows that obviously in F1, if you stand still for 2 or 3 months, these guys and obviously strong teams like Red Bull, Mercedes and McLaren are going to bite you and they're going to put 2 or 3 tenths on you. So yeah, we need to try and understand and especially we need a bit of time now that we understand where we got it wrong, to find unlock performance on the car to try and regain those 2 or 3 tenths that we've lost in the last 2 or 3 weekends. So some homework to do.
Thank you both for coming on the show. Appreciate it. We'll see you in a few weeks.
Thank you
guys. Appreciate it. Right, we will